Welcome back to the Christian Boys. Today, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on an upcoming compilation book by Sean McDowell that's called Apologetics for an Ever-Changing Culture. A few weeks ago, I submitted a request to be a part of the review team for this book, so I just finished it yesterday, and I want to give my honest feedback. This book is a compilation of voices from within the evangelical church, anyone from YouTubers like Alan Parr or Melissa Doherty, all the way to pastors, teachers, theologians, radio hosts, folks like Derwin Gray, Neil Shenvi, Natasha Crane, all of whose work I really enjoyed in this collection. It also covers a really wide range of apologetics topics, anything from defending the resurrection of Jesus, which is pretty essential to our faith, to like the actual attitude of an apologist. It also handles more pop culture questions as they relate to the church. So things like the mental health crisis that's happening right now in the West, or challenges with evangelizing in an urban setting, or challenges with evangelizing to the LGBTQ community. It does a really great job pointing people in the right direction when it comes to defending the historic faith, but also doing so with gentleness and respect, which is pretty much said throughout the entire book. Probably about 3/4 of the authors who contributed to this book referenced 1 Peter 3:15. So it makes sense. It's about the most baseline apologetics verse that you can get. So of course they're going to be mentioning it a lot. I really enjoyed this book, and I thought Sean did a really good job of putting together a lot of different voices in a way that was coherent and had a good flow to it. And this book is a really good primer for those who are not very familiar with apologetics topics and maybe just dipping their toes in for the first time. Or it's a good refresher for those who have been lifelong students of apologetics and who just want to be up to date on current cultural issues that we're seeing today. One thing in particular that I really appreciated about this book is that early on, Sean includes an interview with a outside voice who is familiar with the evangelical/apologetics sort of culture, especially online, but is not a Christian himself. Hearing only one side of a story is rarely, if ever, useful. So I love that Sean included an outside voice, which will push aspiring apologists to really address the issues that we see within our own community and push us to grow, to ultimately look more like Christ and present a better apologetic to the outside world. So those are the things I really enjoyed about the book, but my only piece of feedback might be the result that I got in early print of the book, but the actual text of the book is not aligned on the page. It's off by about 1/8 of an inch, and I know that doesn't actually affect any of the content of the book, so please take that with a grain of salt. But it was something that I noticed, and I hope it's something that the printer can correct before the full version comes out. Of course, the nature of any compilation work is that not every author is going to speak to you the way others do, and so, of course, that ended up being the case in this book too. Not every essay was as compelling or as articulate as others, but that said, the book is incredibly helpful, relevant, and informative, and I would definitely give it an 8 out of 10 overall. I would recommend that you pick up your own copy of Apologetics for an Ever-Changing Culture. The book comes out on January the 7th, but you're able to pre-order it. The link for that is in the description below. Also, be sure to check out Sean's YouTube channel here as well. You can get a link to that as well in the description, but his content is excellent, especially his interviews, because he has a great way of just getting to the heart of a question really well. He asks great questions to anyone he interviews, whether they be Christians or not, and he just shows that he has a heart for people, and he just loves to talk with people about Jesus. And if there's anything that we can learn as apologists from this book, it's how to better talk to people about who Jesus is, what he's done, and what kind of effects he has on the culture around us. This book does a great job of explaining that, and I think Sean does just in general as well. So again, check this book out. Feel free to subscribe here to the Christian Boys, and we'll see you in the next video.